it's Natalie at Custom Crafts, and I'm going to be showing you today how to make this elegant holiday wreath to decorate any door or window that you have in your home. It's a really cool decoration, and you'll only need a few things. Of course, you can get most everything at customcrafts.com. Our new Core Essentials paper by Coordinations. This color is called Forest, and this is a great cardstock because not only is it fun with a colored core, but you can also use it just as regular cardstock, and that's how we'll be using it today. We'll also be using our Winter Woodland Cricut cartridge, and we'll be using it to cut out all of the leaves that we put on our wreath form. And we'll also be using some gold Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. So just a few things you'll need, so let's get started. Our first step in our wreath project today is to cut out all of our leaves. We're going to be using the Winter Woodland cartridge and of course our Cricut expression machine. I've got my Forest Core Essentials Coordinations paper loaded onto my mat, and I've got the textured side up and the smooth side toward the sticky part of my mat. It just sticks better if you do it that way. So let's load our machine. Okay, and we're going to be cutting out the holly leaf that is on page 41. You're going to want to select the shift option to get that holly leaf. So I've got my multi-cut button selected. I've also got my autofill button selected, and when my pink stamper was here, she educated us about all these cool functions on the expression machine. You're going to use the autofill when you're cutting out things over and over and over again, just like for this project. So I've got my autofill on. I'm also going to be using my real dial size option. And the reason I'm using that is because the height that is in my LCD, I want that to be the height of my leaf. If I do not have the real dial size selected, then the Cricut machine is measuring the height of the entire shape that I'm cutting out, the entire image, and I want my leaf to be that height, so I need to put my real dial size on. So we've got 1 3/4 inch height. You can do various heights from 1 to 2 inches depending on how many leaves you want to cut out. I used between 1 1/2, 1 3/4, 2 inches, and I think I went through about 8 sheets of cardstock. So let's get to cutting. Shift, and we're going to hit the holly leaf. And then when I hit cut, it's going to calculate for me how many holly leaves I'm going to get out of 1 sheet of cardstock. And I believe it's 18. So let's see if we get that. Character will be cut 18 times. So after my machine is done cutting, you will end up with a sheet of leaves that looks something like this. And there are 18 leaves on this sheet. Again, this is the holly leaf cut with the real dial size button selected, and the height is 1 3/4. Then I've also done a sheet of leaves that is the 1 1/2 inch, and there are 28 leaves here. So we're going to, after we've got all of our leaves cut out, we're going to prepare them next to go on with the Glimmer Mist and the score pail. Once you have all of your leaves cut out, and they can be various sizes, I'm going to lay them out on my nice Tattered Angels pink craft mat. This is the larger size, and it's a really great mat for something like this where you're doing a lot of one certain thing and you're spraying it and you need a large surface area. So I'm just going to lay my leaves out, and you can see on the Coordinations paper, might be a little hard to see, there is a highly texturized side and then a smoother side, and we're going to be spraying the smoother side with our gold Glimmer Mist. Now I obviously don't have all of my leaves here that cover the entire wreath. You probably, depending on the size of your leaves, need to do approximately 7 pages of cardstock and that is a 12 by 12 size, and possibly a few more depending on how full your wreath is. So I'm just gently tapping the Glimmer Mist against the heel of my hand here, and I'm mixing up that gold Glimmer Mist, and then I'm just going to give my leaves a pretty good spritz. And at this point you can either let them dry on their own, or you can, for the sake of time, if you're in a hurry, use a heat tool to dry that Glimmer Mist off. And then we're just going to clean up our mat. And before we put it away, we certainly want to spray this and get that off of there, but I'm just going to push my leaves to the side. Get out our score pal. So this is a very realistic looking wreath. You could certainly use different Christmassy holiday paper if you wanted a more decorative feel instead of a real looking wreath. So with my score pal, I'm just going to go down each of the centers. And then after you score the leaves down the centers, you can either leave them like that, or you can take a paintbrush handle or a pencil and curl them under, and then you can also curl them the other way, so that when they're on your wreath, they have a little bit more of a three-dimensional look. And we'll just continue with this process until we get all of our leaves done. Our leaves are cut out and ready to be adhered to our wreath form. This is a 12-inch green wreath ring, and what's great about it being green is that there's no need to wrap ribbon around it in order to camouflage what's underneath. If there's a spot that's peeking out, you'll hardly see it because it matches the color of the leaves. So we're just going to take some hot glue and start adhering our leaves on, and I'm just going to peel this little sticker off here. I left it on so I could remember how big the wreath ring was. That's 12 inches again. So I'm just going to start adhering, and it's going to look just like the finished project up here in the corner when I'm done. And you just have to start by putting a little hot glue on the back and sticking your leaf down. And then there are some leaves, if you don't want to spray all of them with Glimmer Mist, it's kind of a nice look. Some stay green, and you can even turn them over so that you're seeing the side that's not sprayed with the Glimmer Mist. And then you just continue along your wreath ring until it's totally covered up. And it's up to you exactly how far around the edge here you want to go. It depends on where you're going to be hanging it. If it's going to be hanging in a highly visible place where people are seeing the side, you certainly want to cover that with green leaves so that you don't see what's actually underneath. And we'll continue doing this until we're all finished. My wreath has the majority of the leaves glued on it, and I'm just going to finish up here. I purchased some jeweled berries at my local craft store, and this whole pick was $1, and I've already clipped some off and just put them in, hot glued them just like I did with the leaves. The leaves are very durable, so you don't have to worry about ripping them or crinkling them. Actually, they look better if you do a little bit of that. They look a little bit more realistic. So I'm just going to continue hot gluing, and then we'll stick some of those berries down. Okay. And I like to actually put the berries in once I've got the leaves glued in. It's easier to camouflage exactly where the berries are glued in if you do it after the fact. So we are now ready to hang our beautiful wreath from a window or a door, and it would make a great holiday decoration. So there you have it. Our wreath is complete and ready to hang in your home. Hope you enjoyed this project from Custom Crops, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and post a comment. Thanks for watching.